free on how I felt for a homeless guy. If you didn't see part 1 and 2, go back to my page and watch those 2 in that order, because you're not going to know how we got to this part without watching those. So like, follow, share. Alright, so as time goes on, it's like a couple days later, and I'm getting used to him staying at the house. And mind you, I have a roommate. She is, bringing her friends over. She worked night shift, I worked day shift. And at the time, I was constantly smoking. So a lot of my money went to that. And not only was it going towards my intake of it, it was going towards his intake. And I'm thinking like, dang, he hasn't pitched in to buy nothing. And when he does, it's only, it's a little bit at a time. And he would tell me the person that he got it from was, his man's, and he could hook me up. So I'm thinking, okay, I got a new plug. I go to his plug, and I found out that he was getting his stuff on credit. He would always say, yeah, I'll pay you back. And the guy that he would go to would give him, just little bags or whatever that he could use throughout the day, and it wouldn't last very long. So eventually his credit ran out. And when his credit ran out, that's when he introduced me, because he knew I had bread. So I rode around with him, going back and forth to this man's house and then his other man's house. And then I was putting gas in his car, and it wasn't clicking in my head. I'm like, this man is really asking me for a lot of money. So as I am working and thinking that, I have a new friend, and he's just, maybe he's just stingy with his money or whatever the case is, but it started feeling like he's kind of using me. I was naive. I didn't think twice about doing it, because I figured God blessed me with this type of opportunity to have and not go without, so I'm going to use it. And maybe he hasn't blessed him with that, so I'm going to not complain and then just be the blessing that he maybe needs at the moment. So I get to asking him, when do you go to work? Because you're always available and you're always here. And he ended up telling me that his job ended up ending, and the project that he was on, the contract was no longer. So I'm thinking, okay, I don't know how project management works, but if he said that's what it is, that's what it is. I asked him if we can go see his mom. This is like maybe a month in, before December, because it was just before November, because it was before Thanksgiving dinner. I was like, hey, what's your relationship with your parents? Can we go see your mom? Whatever, since we're in this thing, I would love to meet them. And he said, oh, my mom passed away. I'm like, oh, that's really sorry. And me being the kind-hearted person that I am, I offered him, just a lot of support, asked him about the death, how was the funeral, things like that. How is he healing from it? How is he coping from it? What his relationship was with his other family. And he was like, he didn't have a relationship with his other family. His brothers were like in jail, and the other one was like non-existent. And then his dad was off doing his own thing. But he told me his mom died. Keep that in mind. It was just too many things were coming together, and it was just feeling like a weight was on my shoulders, and I wasn't believing. But I'm remaining optimistic, because mind you, I was coming out of a female-based relationship, and I wasn't like unfamiliar with how guys operated, but I didn't have a whole bunch of people under my belt that could give me, the basis of like how to maneuver in a relationship, because I'm used to female on female emotions and overthinking, and sometimes overthinking gets you the wrong place. So I was like, maybe I'm just overthinking, don't think too much of it. I start to figuring out, like, all this money that I'm spending on our fun time weren't going anywhere. We weren't doing anything. I offered to go on dates. I was like, I asked to go on dates. We didn't do that. He never offered that. He would turn them down and say they're wasting time. He would give me excuses. He would say that, what would be the point of going out and spending money if we could just do the same thing and enjoy each other's company here? Like, you're doing too much. He would always say I'm doing too much. So I just let it go. But then he was like, I can't do dates. So I let it be what it was. And I already in my mind figured that it wasn't going to be a long-lasting friendship, because he was not fulfilling anything that I wanted. I just was in it for the good time. But in the midst of having that good time, it was like I couldn't break away for some reason. So as I'm working, and mind you, I'm a hairstylist, I make my own schedule, but I noticed that he was always available. He started texting me out the blue during the day. Hey, what's going on? I'm around your way. Did you have a good day at work? And those questions turned into, did you make any tips? Because if you're a hairstylist, you make cash tips, and you take those cash tips home immediately. And then when you make your income, you cash out at the end of the day or at the end of the week, it was the end of the week. So he would eventually start asking me like, hey, did you make any tips today? How much you make? And he would make a joke out of it. And I'd be like, yeah, I made like $300 or whatever. And another lady tipped me like $50 or something. He's like, dang, I wish I was getting money like that. So you plan on using it? I'm like, what you mean I plan on using it? I mean, you plan on buying anything with it? Because I was gonna run to the I was gonna run to my man's. We're gonna call him Kim. No, we're gonna call him. Yeah, we're gonna call him Kim. I was gonna run to Kim's house and grab something. You could just give me your money and I can grab for you if you like, and we could just double up. So I was thinking, okay, cool, kill two birds with one stone. I don't gotta ride out there. That means I can have it ready, or you can have it ready for me when I get off work. I would be dumb and do that, and it turned into a routine. Every time I would make a tip, he would end up asking me, hey, did you make anything today? And it was an ongoing thing. So keep in mind, I asked about his mom and their relationship. Come around the time for Thanksgiving, it gets really busy because everyone wants their hair done for Thanksgiving dinner and all the other stuff. And he had asked me for a larger amount, and he was like hanging around, and I forgot what he did. He did something, and it like pissed me off, and I was like, no, just leave me alone for. I was just like, leave me alone for a minute. I mean, I need to, take a break. If it's okay, I'm gonna go with my parents this weekend, or whatever day it was, I'm gonna stay with them at their house, and I'm gonna celebrate with my family. So he had rebuttal to me and was like, he didn't want me to do that. It was going to be purposeless, because I did vent to him a lot about my family situation. At the time, we were just on the outs, and I moved out because I wanted to get from under their shelter, their roof. So I was trying to do my own thing, but he condoned me not having a relationship with them. So come the day before Thanksgiving, he's blowing my phone up, and he was like, I gotta go, I need you to come with me real quick. I didn't go to the hospital. I'm like, what's going on? Come to find out, his mom is in the hospital. I'm like, what the hell? I thought your mom was dead. He told me she died. So he's telling me who was in the hospital. He was explaining to me, yes, my mom in there. I kind of questioned, but at this time I was already a little fearful of him because he showed signs of like super aggression, and I was very timid, and I didn't want to confront him and make it into a thing. So I was asking him, I was like, I thought your mom died, what's going on with her? I was trying to be sweet about it, and I was like, oh no, and I didn't bring up about too much about it. But then he got defensive and was like, well, when I said she died, I meant she died to me. It was like she had an aneurysm, and then ever since she had an aneurysm, it was just, she wasn't the same person no more. So I didn't lie to you, but when I said she died, she was just the person that I knew died, and she wasn't my mom anymore. So I'm like, I understand, but that ain't what you said. You said you had a funeral and everything, and that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm like, he said he had a funeral, all this other stuff. We pull up to the hospital. His dad is there. His brother is there. His other brother's in jail, but his dad and his brother's in there. His mom is in the bed speaking just fine. She had like COPD or something like that. And he gets in the room. Nobody talks to them. Nobody talks to each other. They just look at each other like really weird, as if he wasn't supposed to be there. I'm waiting outside the door, and I'm like, I don't know if I should go in or not. He ends up bringing me in. His dad steps out. His dad looks at me up and down, and then walks away, and then sits in the chair that's in the hallway. I go in there with him, with Daniel, and then we talk to his mom. And I'm like, hi, I'm Jasmine. How are you? Da, 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 da. Heard so much about you. Lying my ass off. And he asked me if we can bring her a plate. So she stayed there the next day. He's like, yeah, we're going to go to Jasmine's house for Thanksgiving. We'll probably bring you a plate back. I'm thinking, you told me not to go to my family house for Thanksgiving. But okay, whatever. So we leave and we come back. And I'm sorry, well, before we come back, we leave. I go to my parents' house. He stays in the car. I go there, I chatted up with them. He's texting me on my phone, asking me what's taking me so long. You get the plate and leave. I'm like, dang, this is my parents' house. You're rushing me for nothing. I asked for a plate to go, and then I'm trying to think if I can get extra on the side for him, because he seemed like he was hungry. And I know I haven't seen him eat. He only ate at my house. And during the day, I don't know what was going on, but I was just a nurturer. So I was like, let me get a plate for him too. Let me get some extra on the side. I get an extra plate, and he takes little pieces off and puts it onto my plate, and it says, we're going to give this to my mom, and we're going to ride back up there, go give it to her, and then we'll share this plate together. And I'm like, damn, this must be really hard times for you. This little project management position that you had, your contract must have ended and just took all your cash, because you seem like something's wrong. But I'm going to finish in the next video, like for part 4.